A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Pendrith ends up winning his first PGA Tour win.
He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Coles should have won that tournament, also seeking his first PGA Tour victory. He went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a one-shot lead, and he was there in two, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Do Leafs fans stop watching hockey now, or do they root for other Canadian teams, Cam?
No, I'm not a proponent of that, and it's actually kind of bothered me that, like, all the people in Toronto are kind of like, oh, now I'm going to cheer for the Oilers. Like, why? What's your affiliation with the Oilers? Like, Canucks still exist. Like, I don't lose automatically and say, yeah, I'm going to cheer for the Ottawa Senators because they're Canadian. No, I cheer for my bets.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency, the pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bust them, and everybody else in between. The Friday Night Freak Show has begun. NBA basketball continues. We're into the second half right now. Early in the third quarter of play, the Minnesota Timberwolves are up by double digits, but the Dallas Mavericks are lingering right now. Let's get you the updated number. It is 70-58 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're currently laying 12.5 points. The total is 211.5, and I often like these in-game overs. I've been confused by this number, and I might have got caught fishing earlier in the game as it was higher scoring. I even have an over 220, 222.5, 223.5. I've got the over original total in the basketball game as well. And I understand it's slowed down, but it's on pace. So right now it's 211.5. And we're already up to 128 points right now. And there's still a lot of basketball left. There's 7 minutes left in the third quarter of play. So I'm not really panicked about the original total. And I'm still expecting some sort of like push. I think this total is going to start to get up here again. It's 211.5 right now. So my professional and sometimes unprofessional recommendation is to take the over of this game in game right now, over 211.5. I think it's going to get there. We're already on the over in the game. We're on the Dallas Mavericks as well. It'd be nice if the Mavericks would get back in this thing, but they're chipping away. They've cut the lead to 11 right now. NHL hockey, we're tied at 1 after 2 periods of play. And last night we went to overtime, and in fact we went to double overtime last night. The Edmonton Oilers end up getting the W. And I talked about betting these games to go to overtime before they start. And in the playoffs, they've been about plus 280, give or take, but generally plus 275, plus 280 seems to be the common price for a lot of these games. So let's check in right now. We played 2 periods of play, and we're tied. And this game has overtime written all over it right now. And you're getting plus 150. Very good odds. Like, very, very good odds, in my opinion. When all things considering, it's a tie game after 2 periods of play. The Rangers aren't getting any shots on goal. And can the Rangers, hold Florida off, with the 2 goaltenders? So Plus 150, I definitely think this is worth something to play and jump in on. Rangers, Panthers to go to overtime. We love the over in the NBA games, but we like to bet the unders when it comes to the National Hockey League if I can. If we see the spots, and we hit the under in game one, and really what was going to be different about this game? You've got two rock-solid goaltenders. You have two very good defensive teams. You have one team that can only really score on special teams. So there's a lot that adds up to where the goal is going to come from. The Rangers have played how many periods now? They've played 5 periods of hockey in this series. They've got 1 goal. All right, and they're going to be told, they're going to be posting. And listen, the Panthers only have 4 goals, but that's better, right? Like the Rangers need to do better. They need to find a way to score. I'm on the Rangers to win this game. I think the Panthers are going to win the series, but I've got the Rangers to win this game. But we got a bigger play on the under 5.5. A big game tonight in the WNBA in Los Angeles. They're playing at the Crypt. Normally they don't play at the Crypt. They play at Long Beach. Like they don't play. They don't always play in the big arena, but they're getting 18,000 plus tonight. Tickets are going for $2,000 courtside this evening for the Indiana Fever and the Los Angeles Sparks. 3 of the top 4 draft picks in the past WNBA draft on the floor tonight with, of course, Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, and Rickea Jackson. So the Fever haven't won a game yet, and the Sparks have only won once. The Sparks have been pretty competitive. People, you can't, nobody expected, and I didn't expect any of these young teams, like these girls to come right out of the NCAA and take over the WNBA. It doesn't work like that. There's some serious assassins in the WNBA. It's going to take a couple of years for these teams to get good and start to develop. And in fact, they're going to be so bad again. Imagine if the LA Sparks, man, get Paige Beckers and put her with Rickea Jackson and Cameron Brink. Then you really got something. But as far as tonight is concerned, the Indiana Fever haven't won yet. All right? They haven't won a basketball game yet. They're playing tomorrow night in Las Vegas as well against the Las Vegas Aces. So it's a tough back-to-back for them. I'm not positive they'll even play Caitlin Clark tomorrow. At some point, they're running this girl into the ground. She hasn't had a second off, right? There's no turnaround in between the college season and the WNBA season. But I imagine she will play. But today, a big game for her. Caitlin Clark, she has this game circled. This is the game and the arena she's most excited to play in. I saw her morning shoot-around interviews this morning, and I didn't realize what a diehard LeBron James fan she is. But she's LeBron James is my favorite player. I love Kobe Bryant. She didn't say about the Lakers, but she pretty much. She was talking about, this is the arena that I've been the most excited. It's the coolest thing ever. And she's walking around, looking around and stuff and taking pictures and everything of the arena. I think it's just fitting. She's going to get her first win. I don't know if LeBron's going to be there. I assume he probably is. She's going to get her first win tonight in L.A. And I like this Spark team, too. Cameron Brink is playing well. Cameron Brink doesn't score points, but she's like a defensive menace, all-around player. Should be a fun basketball game. But give me the Indiana Fever to win a basketball game, minus 125 on the money line. And let's go with Caitlin Clark over 20.5. I'm surprised the books haven't started to adjust it a little bit. She's very consistently checking in, 21, 22 right now. So I'm actually surprised they haven't bumped it up to 22.5 to try to make it a little bit tougher. Yeah, she hasn't gone over in every game or anything like that, but she's going to score. She's their primary scorer on the Indiana Fever. People are going to judge Caitlin Clark so much, but the fact of the matter is she doesn't really have a lot to work with on this team. They're a couple of years away, this team. But I think they get their first W tonight, and then I think they get absolutely lit up tomorrow night in Las Vegas against the Las Vegas Aces. So we have a little back-to-back action. Let's go with the Fever tonight and Caitlin Clark over 20.5. Right now it's 75-67 in the basketball game. It's getting good. Total is still 211.5. You're getting 8.5 points right now with the Mavericks. T-Wolves laying 8.5 money line. Dallas Mavericks plus 320. Minnesota Timberwolves minus 450. It's a big weekend for race fans this weekend. A little bit of something for everybody. The Memorial Day weekend, of course. You've got the Grand Prix, Monaco, Formula One. And we've got the Coca-Cola 600, the longest race in NASCAR. And, of course, we've got the Indianapolis 500. And I see Kyle Larson. So, like, Kyle Larson is going to be running in the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 in the same day. Steve Merrill's a race aficionado. He'll step up and join us. We'll break it down with Steve. And if we can go back, I saw we popped up the NASCAR odds for the Coca-Cola 600. Like, we're going to get into this. Like, Kyle Larson's favorite to win the Coca-Cola 600. There's no way in hell this guy's going to win the Coca-Cola 600 after racing in the Indianapolis 500 earlier in the day. It's just too much. It's too much. Nobody's ever done it, by the way. Right? So, like, there's been like four drivers have done this. We'll get into the history of it a little bit. But nobody's ever won. Right? Tony Stewart did pretty good. Tony Stewart's a hell of a racer, right? Tony Stewart did pretty good in both of them. I think Tony Stewart finished like 8th in the Indy and like 3rd or 4th in NASCAR, which is super impressive in the same day. This is Sports Rage. Bring it.
We salute the brave and courageous women and men serving in the United States military, protecting our freedom. Please take time this Memorial Day weekend to honor the memory and sacrifice of our military veterans and their loving families, and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in their service to our nation.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness. And I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. Mm-hmm. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is Sports Rage. I'm Morency. Let's do this thing. It's the Friday Night Freak Show. We've got two cool games going on right now, and the basketball game is tightening up. It's 75-70 for the T-Wolves, although the total is slowing down. I was talking about how I think it's always going to open up. It's they're only at 145 right now, but it's a 5-point game. The total is what it was at tip-off, 207.5 right now, 75-70. We're at intermission. We just dropped the puck, actually, right now. At MSG, and I talked about the overtime odds, plus 280 before the game. You got a tie game right now after 2 periods of play, and you're getting plus 150 for this game to go to overtime, which I think are pretty good odds for a hockey game in which, man, they played 5 periods right now. There's been a combined 6 goals. We played 5 periods of hockey in this series. The New York Rangers have managed to score once. The Panthers have only scored 4 times, but the total was 5.5 tonight. We love the under of this game, and we got a penalty coming up early here. But I do think plus 150 overtime is worth a look right now. Let's bring in Steve Merrill and Cam Stewart. Good to see you, Steve. This NBA game is starting to tighten up right now. 5-point game, but it's starting to really slow down as far as the pace is concerned in the total.
Yeah, in-game total was as high as 222 about 50 minutes ago. Midway through the second quarter, they're on a pace for over 220. And now, like you said, it's dead on 207, which was the closing line. It's slowed down. Let's keep in mind Game 1 did the same thing. They had over 120 points at the half in Game 1, and it ended up 213. So it looks like the same thing's happening here once again.
I was waiting for this spurt because I expect the Dallas Mavericks to come back, right? When it was like 60-48 or so. I'm like, all right, they're going to go on a run. They're going to get back in this. But then, maybe Minnesota goes on a run again. But Minnesota offensively are the ones that have kind of hit the wall here, right? Dallas are chipping away and scoring, and Minnesota, and this is one of the reasons my fear about the Minnesota Timberwolves in this series was the offensive lulls that they have. They don't have a bunch of pure scorers on their team, and they got a bunch of streaky dudes on their team, and suddenly we've got a 2-point basketball game, 75-73. Cam, who are you on here with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks?
Well, Gabe, I felt pretty good before the show, and now the pain train's coming. I'm on the Timberwolves. I thought, still a lot of time in this basketball game. Took them at 4.5, and I have them in a money line parlay. The total, I don't know what to do with this total right now. Live 209.5. I think it's going to be very close to the number, but I need the Timberwolves tonight, and maybe they'll go on a little bit of a run. But I understand people taking Dallas. You're right about Minnesota, Gabe. They're streaky. They score, and then they have bad lulls, but I think they're going to get it done tonight.
Steve, it was such an obvious zigzag tonight, and everybody was zigzagging tonight on this game. And it just, made me like Dallas even more. And when the line got bet up to 6, this is getting in front of a speeding bullet, though, isn't it, Steve? Whenever you pull the trigger against the home team that loses Game 1 on their home court. But I think that Minnesota, if they were going to win this game, I didn't think they were going to win by 7. Time will tell.
Yeah, and I mean, people are asking me all day, what side do you like? I go, well, the situation favors Minnesota, but the line is too high. And that's what kept me off the side in this game totally, to be honest with you, because I did not like the situation for Dallas, but I also thought Dallas was the better team in Game 1. Now, in hindsight, it was a terrible spot for Minnesota. I should have been bigger on Dallas in Game 1. Minnesota was coming off back-to-back elimination games, 6 and 7, in the altitude thin air, overcame a 20-point deficit. They did have home court, but they looked tired. They also relied by the three-pointer, 49 threes versus 24 against Dallas in Game 1. And what was a real concern, if you like Minnesota, is they were plus 36 from three-point range and still lost Game 1. That's a terrible sign. And once again, here in Game 2, now that it's closed, Dallas has the edge from two-point range. So Dallas has been the more consistent scoring team, kind of going back to what you're talking about, Gabe. And we'll see how this one plays out, but I think this is Dallas's series to lose.
So the total, you brought it up. You said it got as high as 222.5. And being the real wise guy, sharp guy I am, of course, I bought in at the worst possible number, 222.5, Steve. Right, like at its peak. Like I bet the over earlier, so I had the game, and I'm like, you know what? It was 213.5 at one point. I was like, this is going to go over 213.5. But even when it was 60-48 at the half, I thought it was light still. I was like, wow, why is it 211.5 now? I keep on thinking the totals have been light all night. It's 213.5 right now. I'm telling you, there's going to be a little burst in this game. The game's going over the original 207.5. But I'm not even giving up, Steve. I think this game could still get into the 220s, bro.
Keep in mind that the first half total was 106. The full game was 207. So the odds makers were saying 106/101. And this is the second game in a row, like I said earlier, that we've seen a lot of points early and then things start to cool off. So to the odds makers' credits, they've been pretty sharp with these first, second half splits.
We're up to 51 points, though, right now in the third. And it's real big, as all degenerate overbettors know, man. You try to cram as many points as you can in this last 30 seconds. Sometimes you get like a lot. Like the other night they played, it was like, boom, we got like 7, 8, 9, 10 points in like a 40-second span. And it was like, ooh, yeah, that really helped. So as I said, it's I think it'll go over. It's 213.5, 82-77 right now. And as far as the NHL hockey game is concerned, 1-1, 17 minutes left. We talked about pulling the trigger on overtime, plus 150 after 2 periods of play. The total is down to 3.5 right now, minus 135.
I'm biting.
This
Gabe.
is a quick drop, Cam, for them to go like. This tells me that they like overtime as well. They're thinking, man, this is going to overtime tied at 1, or this is 2-1. Like to already make it 3.5. If it's over 3.5, it should be like minus 200, Cam. It's only minus 130.
I know. I got minus. Hey, I feel like I'm right now. You're the fisherman, and you got me hooked. But I can't take. We get a 2-1 game, empty netter. Heck, we could even get 2-2. There's freaking 17 minutes left in this game, man. And there's been a lot of power plays. These goalies have stood on their head, Gabe. Let's call it out for what it is. We're both on the original under. Both of these goaltenders have been sharp, and both teams have not been able to capitalize.
You know what, though?
Advantages.
Like I said, it was plus 150 after 2 periods of play. It's already plus 120 right now to go to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
The computer odds makers are already fearful that, you know what, this game is ending 1-1. That's why they're already at 3.5 here. There's been a manual override.
We salute the brave and courageous women and men serving in the United States military, protecting our freedom. Please take time this Memorial Day weekend to honor the memory and sacrifice of our military veterans and their loving families, and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in their service to our nation.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Thank you. I appreciate this. You want one of these?
I'm good, KG.
You want your ginger shot?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
I need some positivity today. I'm trying to cover this spread, and your vibe is off, G.
What's wrong with my vibe?
You got to get you one of these, G. Get to sip some of this positivity in your life, and boom! You see that? Spread's covered. Thank you, Mama. In a minute, G. Ha ha!
The Friday Night Freak Show continues. This is SportsRage, Sirius XM Channel 159 of the SportsGrid Radio and Television Networks. I am Gabriel Morency, Steve Merrill in the house with us. Plus 115, this game to go to overtime right now. You can say no if you want. No is minus 150. You don't have to say yes, like me and Cam to everything. You can say no. Just say no.
Yeah,
you don't have to bet the yes prop, right? Because Steve, you get
Nancy Reagan bet. Nancy Reagan bet. Just say no.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah.
You know who passed away today on a more serious note? Morgan Spurlock. You remember the dude that did the Super Size Me movie?
Yeah.
Remember that guy, Steve? All he ate was
I knew that name.
McDonald's.
I was thinking it was somebody in Reagan's cabinet when we were talking Nancy Reagan. Yeah, I knew the name. I was trying to figure out who the hell it was.
Talking about James Baker, Secretary of Defense from the 80s.
That's why. I mean, I figured this was some guy from the 80s or something when you went that way. You took me for a loop.
I'm surprisingly good at that, Steve. People would be like, name the Speaker of the House in the 80s. Jump in. But no, it was Morgan Spurlock. Morgan Spurlock did the movie. And, of course, he ate, and it warned people of the dangers of eating junk food and fast food and stuff. And ironically enough, he died.
That's what I was wondering.
He died at 54 years old. Liver disease from drinking alcohol. He was an alcoholic. So may he rest in peace. So I'm just stating he would have been better off, like, eating McDonald's every day as opposed to drinking alcohol every day. Like that. So he did a movie about it. I'm like, all right, now do whiskey.
Exactly. You know what the craziest thing is?
Now do a movie, Morgan, on how do you do a movie on something that's really dangerous now, alcohol.
You're right. Alcohol is way worse than sodium. And I'll tell you, and saturated fat.
Look at the guy. Sorry, Kevin. I'm going to say, there's a guy that's eating McDonald's, man. I don't know. He's some weird dude in Wisconsin.
Big
Mac that guy's eating the guy's eating at McDonald's every day for like 55 years. He's literally eating and he eats there 3 times a day all the time. He got married in a McDonald's. He's a weird dude, but he's fine. Health-wise. He's a weird dude, but you know what I mean?
Yes. Wait, that's the argument to his documentary. I'm like, this dude
they show him like he got married there. It's his birthday, and he's smiling there, and he's got another big match. It's like, bro, you've done this every day in the same location too. He's gone to the same location for like 52 years in a row every day. But he's fine.
Yep.
You go to the same bar every day for 52 years. You're not lasting 52 years.
Excellent point.
I'm just saying. Rest in peace, Morgan Spurlock. And I can't. This is so crazy. I don't have a McDonald's near me. I got a Burger King. And after talking about it on Twitter and all this type stuff, I actually went to Burger King after. I was like, I'm going to Burger King right now. After Steve, learned nothing from his movie. Sorry. I'm trying what a way to mock the guy. I'm going to fast food right now.
How many Big Macs?
Well, theoretically, you realized that it wasn't as bad for you as the drinking. So instead of going to a bar, you went to Burger King. So
I'm not sure if it's 50 or 100,000 Big Macs, Gabe, or so. Remember they gave him a commemorative thing. He's like, this is his 100,000.
Yeah. They gave him a medal. Yeah,
medal. It was like,
never heard of that dude. I'm fascinated by this now.
He's a weird dude.
First thing that came to mind for me, guys, was I had the financial news on today, and the big headline was that the fast food inflation. Have you heard about that all week? How much more expensive it's getting at the fast food restaurants. So, guy might not be able to afford to eat at McDonald's 3 times a day anymore.
No, I was at a fast food place today, Steve. It was $17.59 for the combo.
That's brutal.
That's insane. I mean, that's just
highest price is in New York, $26 for a McDonald's combo. Bro, at that point, you might as well just go to the Red Lobster or something.
But I like to talk betting odds for politics, right? And it occurred to me today because Trump had the rally in the Bronx. This is what hits home to voters that maybe don't vote a certain way when they're feeling it in the wallet. And fast food, you've never seen this before. And his odds are going up now. He's like at 53%. Biden's like at 38%, which means there's like a 12% chance somebody else wins still, which is crazy.
His voters eat fast food is what you're saying.
Yeah, they do.
Which is true.
Well, yeah. It hurts the incumbent regardless, I think, when that happens.
No, you're right. You're right. This is Sports Rage.
we salute the brave and courageous women and men serving in the United States military, protecting our freedom. Please take time this Memorial Day weekend to honor the memory and sacrifice of our military veterans and their loving families, and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in their service to our nation.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. 87-86 right now. Here come the Dallas Mavericks, baby. Dallas Mavericks are taking the lead. Like I said, I think this game's going to come down to the wire. Minnesota are the ones under a lot of pressure right now. They're starting to lose some of the momentum in this game. The total is 214 and a half right now. 213 and a half right now just dropped. The total in the hockey game, Cam, 3.5 still. Suddenly that over is plus 190.
Ah, man. You know what, Gabe? It's not going to.
It's not moving.
No, it's not moving.
This game's good. I don't want to mush it. I don't want to jinx it. I got overtime and I got under. So I'm just saying this game's going to overtime, tied at 1 here.
It should. Even Florida had a great chance there, but the guy put it right over the net. No, you're right. This game's in quicksand right now. I could just see this thing being 1-1 overtime. I don't know who do you if it does go to overtime, who do you like? Florida's really good in overtime, but it's anybody's game right now. I don't know, man.
Panthers have been a better team, but who knows? I'm on the Rangers tonight, so I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah.
But I want the game to go to overtime now. That'll help hitting that nice plus 150. So 89-87 in the basketball game. Steve, I was looking forward to talking about tomorrow's game with the Celtics and the Pacers, but this Halliburton stuff really puts a cloud, hinders the handicap, so to speak. You know, I don't think he's going to play. Last night I was thinking, you know what? He's got enough time to get over this, but when, Woj is saying the Pacers have concerns, you read between the lines. Whenever Woj says a team has concerns, the player is always out. Means he's going to be out. It's hard to turn around from, like, the hamstring. I talked about it last night. It's not like football or something. You know what I mean? Like, where, not like if you have another injury, you can cast it up, you could tape it up, you could get a court, you could take some, get a shot up and stuff. You can't run it up and down the court with a hamstring problem. So I think, and he's had a hamstring problem throughout the year to begin with. So it hinders the handicap right now. I hope he plays, but I'm not expecting him to now.
No question about it. In fact, right as we're doing this show live here around 10:30 Eastern Friday night, the line has now gone to 7.5 in many sports books. FanDuel's still holding a -7.
So people are getting the feeling that he's not going to play.
Yeah. So it's interesting, Gabe, because just in the last 10 minutes, I've seen several prominent books, some in Las Vegas, go to 7.5. I've been watching the Wager Talk live odds screen. So it's pretty interesting that at 10:30 at night, the night before, it's moving like that. So I think you're onto something. I'm actually doing my standalone video for Wager Talk TV right after this tonight. I've been holding off to try to get more information. And I do think the situation favors Indiana, especially maybe in the first half. But, yeah, all bets are off without Halliburton healthy because he is the quarterback out there. He's the leading assist guy in the NBA, let's not forget. Great three-point shooter. And, boy, did they struggle this year, like you said, when he was out. And they were an under team all of a sudden when he was out. So it really does affect both the side and total in this game.
Well, you know what? They were 7-6 straight up when he was out. So it's not terrible, but that's not good enough to win in the playoffs. And, they
Much
were
lower
playing
scoring,
Atlanta
I
Hawks
think,
of the
right?
world, like lower competition, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
I'm
the
not
games were lower
disputing.
scoring from what I recall. They went on that under run. Remember that under run like in January, February,
right.
whenever he was out? Yeah, it was interesting.
You're right. But their totals got so stupid. They were up to like 250 and stuff sometimes. Like
It was a
250,
perfect storm.
2.5.
Yeah, it was a perfect time for the under to start hitting. Yeah, exactly.
No, so I'm not dismissing his absence. So that was the record, 7-6. But okay, so what? What does that mean now? You'd rather have them. They do have Siakam, at least now, that wasn't there all the time. That makes
Great
up for
point.
something, but
Yeah,
it's a big loss. But you talk about it, Cam. We see it all the time. We saw it with the Cavs and stuff. Teams when they're missing a guy, they'll respond that first game without him often.
Great point, Gabe. And I'm going to tell you, if that line keeps on climbing, I'm staying on Indiana. I will wait.
It will,
I
Cam.
let
If he's
people-
not playing by tip-off, we
Exactly.
might get 9 tomorrow night.
I will be all over Indiana at 9, and I will take my chances with other guys. And we've seen it every time people fade those guys. You know what I mean? Somebody will step up, Gabe. Other guys on the team will, and they're going to bond together.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
still
a
have
move where it
Miles
brings
Turner.
every-
You still
Yes,
have Pascal
yes.
Siakam.
The
Like, you
Siakam.
still have
You
some dudes
guys.
that could score on this team.
Yes, I'm with you. If that line hits 9, I'll
And
put
the
more money
Celtics
on
have
it.
been flaky, Steve. We've seen the Celtics always sort of give one up
Exactly.
in these playoff series. How many times do they ever sweep anyone, Steve?
Right. It wasn't that Cleveland was better without Mitchell. It was that Boston took their foot off the gas. Just the same reason they'd lost 3 straight game twos until 2 nights ago, or last night rather, because they take their foot off the gas. I'll say this, though, guys. You can make an argument that it's already priced into this line, Cam, and it might not go up to 9 because Boston was an 8.5-point home favorite last night. And you factor in that strong 0-2 home game 3 angle, then, it should be all the way down to 2 or 3. So the fact that it's 7.5 tells me they're already pricing Halliburton out more than in. If he makes a miraculous return, this might close at 5 or so. So I think there's 2 ways to look at that.
Interesting. So you don't think it's
But
going to
the
get to 8?
public-
Because I want to bet it now, right, Gabe? Or will you take your chances? That's the thing. Because
I'm
if it's going
just
to go
saying,
down.
It's the only game of the night. There's an NHL hockey game, but it's Saturday night, and the public are all going to jump on the Boston Celtics. And Steve, the dichotomy, I think it's going to be a sharp versus public deal. Be a lot of sharps are going to say, I'm going to take as many points I can get with the Pacers. And I think the public are going to say they have no chance without Halliburton.
So one of the most public dogs in the playoffs that I've seen so far was Indiana in game 2. So now maybe they jump off the ship, though. I know what you're saying because they didn't perform, obviously, in game 2. The public is very fickle, as you guys know. But some of the indicators I'm looking at right now is I think Indiana still might be getting some public sentiment. They definitely were getting it in game 2. So that's why, your gut would say this goes up to 9 if Halliburton's announced out, but it's almost like it's baked in a little bit because they're 8.5 on the road, 2-3 points each way would get down to 3 or 2 points, and it's historically a good spot for home teams down 0-2. So this line is pretty hefty for that reason.
And it is frustrating to me because I've been loving the overs. Guys, these teams have now played 7 times this year, and 6 of the 7 times it's gone over these numbers that they're posting, like the 224s. They played, it was like, there was a couple, it was like 3 and 2 to the under, but like I brought up, Steve, I was looking at the numbers. Dude, well, they played this year. Their total was 252.5 once. So, you can't, I went under. Okay. There was another one, 247 or something like that. So I sort of looked at, okay, how many times did they go over 224? And, okay, 5 out of the 6 times they went out. They 4 out of the 5 in the regular season. They went into the 230s type of deal, whatnot. And now both games, they got into the 230s, Steve, already. So, I think the public, like you said, the under is coming down because of the Halliburton stuff. Dear God, Florida nearly just scored. It's coming down, but what about this total, Steve? I keep on betting the over here. It's down to 222.5 right now. I still think I'm going to bet the over, Steve. I'm going to go contrarian on this.
I definitely don't disagree with contrarian with the injuries. And you know, the reason it keeps working, I keep telling myself, we can't just blindly play the shorthanded team, right? Because it's hitting like 70% for 2 years. But that's why it keeps working, because even myself, a professional, doesn't feel comfortable doing it. And the odds are still being adjusted, right? When things stop working, it's because the odds makers take the value away. But like you guys said, this line might go even higher if he's announced out. And Boston does have a tendency to take their foot off the gas. And historically, teams down 0-2 do very, very well in game 3 at home. So it's hard to pull the trigger, but those are usually the best plays to make.
It's a good point. Even me tonight, guys, I don't know if you guys bet this game, but the Kansas City Royals tonight. The Royals have been so good. I took them, and even as I'm doing it, I'm like, damn, man, I can't believe I'm taking the Royals minus 120 on the road against the Rays. Against the Rays. So I'm like, yet they won easily, right? It's like the fear cam of, man, like, Steve, like, we're conditioned, like, man, it's the Royals against the Rays, even though it was a good bet.
And the best is our little speech last night. How about those Jays? They're going to go on. Oh, yeah.
That was my speech. I'll own that. I'll own that.
I'll own it, too. I thought they were going to go. I'm just so sick of that. Right when they look good, I'm like, wow, they just got killed by the Tigers. Good work, guys.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't want to get into the habit of betting Jays games every day, and I don't.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. It'll kill you.
I just sort of jumped in this week, and I bet them again today. Yeah. And I was watching the game and I watched, and I was like, yeah. Next time I tell people in Toronto to shut up, I got to shut up. I understand why you're so frustrated. Because every time you think the Blue Jays turn the corner, Steve, they don't.
They do not.
They'll score 9 runs and get shut out the next night.
True.
We salute the brave and courageous women and men serving in the United States military, protecting our freedom. Please take time this Memorial Day weekend to honor the memory and sacrifice of our military veterans and their loving families, and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in their service to our nation.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
$99-96 right now. 5 minutes left in the basketball game. The Mavericks are up by 3. 1-1 in the hockey game, and there's 3.5 minutes left. Steve, I know you often partake and participate in Mark Lawrence's playbook. I'm sure Mark is already hard at work at this. I don't know if you've written anything for this year, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the college football world and college athletics. And a lot of it's tedious, and people tune it out, and they get into the litigation. But there's ramifications, we'll see these ramifications down the road. Because I was thinking about you, Steve. I was going to ask you about this. And, you know, depending on whether the kids are making money and how much money they're getting and NIL this and NCAA that, they're still going to be scoring a certain amount of points a game. They're still going to be rushing for a certain amount of, you know what I mean? So, like, people are like, oh, it's going to be them. The game, you know, games are going to be games still. But moving forward, they're becoming pros, like point blank. Like they've dropped the loss. Like we're dropping the college. They're dropping the student athlete part. Everybody's going to make money now. Like everybody, kids on Toledo are going to make money. Everybody's going to get paid now, and there's a salary cap now for the NIL. You're allowed to go up to $20 million. Like, what a world we're in now. And it'll adjust and adapt on a yearly basis depending on revenues. It's a pro league, Steve. So, basically, okay, even with this new landscape, there's only a handful of teams that have $20 million or will want to spend $20 million on players a year. As it is now, Ohio State are at the top. Like, they're like 18, 19 mil. With their coaching staff, reportedly, their payroll is moving in on $50 million, guys, for a college football team. So it's pro sports now, Cam. Like, just call it, you know, like the football, don't call it college football. Let's call it something else. Saturday football. I don't know. Like, it's not college football. It's not college.
It's pro sports. Yeah, like what's some of the MLS teams' salaries there, Gabe? Like you know what I mean? Like what's low end?
They bring
the
a lot
MLS
more money
salary,
than
the top
MLS
salary
team does, though.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah,
some of them. Only the top schools, though, do, right?
Yeah.
You know, in fact, the Big Ten is the most powerful conference now. Their revenue was moving in on $1 billion last year. The SEC's right behind. So, like the Big 12, the schools made $44 million each, and the Big Ten, they made $60 million each. Just from their own like personal revenue. So it'll just be like the real world. There's going to be it'll be the same thing like it's always been. Because people are like, oh, it's a Wild West now. What's different? Florida State, Michigan, Alabama, Georgia, all the same damn teams will be good and all the same crap teams will be poor still. Just the way it always was.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bigger gap between the mid-majors and the big boys is what it sounds like. How's this salary cap work? Is that per class? Is it per the entire roster? Is it per sport? That part I had not seen.
No, per football team. Your football team
So
gets
the entire
$20 million.
Alabama squad has, like, all 5 years, freshmen through seniors, they all have to stay combined under the, say, $20 million or whatever.
No, yeah, 20 minutes, like a $20 million, like the incoming players. Mm-hmm. No, incoming freshmen. You can't give them more than like $20 million, which is
Total
getting insane. Like, people didn't realize. No, the team.
But just the freshman class, or everyone on the roster can't be making more combined than 20 is what I'm asking. See what I'm saying? Is it each year? Like, so you could have 100
it's like
million
a salary
on the roster?
cap. It'll be everybody on the team. $20 million for your payroll for your football
It'll be like $4 million per year. Like the 5 years combined, $4 million each year would be $20 million. So like, that's pretty limited actually. If that's the case, yeah.
Yeah, because they're getting panicked now because that kid
Alabama's
that's suing
quarterback
Florida
was making several million already right out of the gate, right? So I mean, that's a good chunk into that if you do that every year. In that regard, it could spread the talent around a little bit.
No, it would if you want to pay for it, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. If all right, are we going to overtime? We cashed it.
Yep, it's there.
Boom, plus 150 in the house, man. We gave this last night on the show too, with the overtime. It's 2 games now in a row. We got overtime in the National Hockey League. Stress job for Ranger fans, but we cashed the plus 150. That's a nice ticket to cash. Nothing wrong with that. You like quick wins, Cam. There's a quick 20-minute win, plus 150.
Great
Rangers
pick.
And Panthers.
Yeah, and I can't believe I actually took the over 3.5. I bet for it. I thought it might be 2-1 and whatever, but because I want to have something there. But and even 2-2 for overtime. So good pick by you. That was good. I can't believe it. Maybe there was something to this bad ice at MSG because a lot of bouncy pucks. These guys can't seem to score. It's just basically a tough series game. Florida wants to basically start a street fight with everybody. You saw in the first period after that Rangers goal, mugging and all sorts of stuff. It's literally like WWE wrestling with these guys. They love mixing it up.
I'm not blaming the ice. And this is why, though, I think Western Conference teams are better. They could score in the West. These teams in the East skate around and just beat each other up all night, and it doesn't. Nothing happens.
Right. It's more.
It's like, no, you guys aren't even trying. They're just skating around, hitting each other. It's like, you know what I mean?
True, man.
It's like there's no blast. Like, oh my God, a blast! It's like, you know, an offensive like outburst and stuff. But Steve, I wanted to ask you. There's a big race weekend this weekend. I know you're not into NASCAR as much as you have been, but as far as Formula One is concerned, there's actually drama in Formula One now. Max Verstappen isn't suddenly as dominant. He didn't win. And if there was ever a race for him not to win, it was perfect for them that it was in the U.S. and it was the Miami race, right? Because Americans, and it was the most viewed F1 race in history in America.
Wow.
Right? So they had massive numbers for it. And Lando Norris, who's super popular, won. And the kid is coming on right now. They're in Monaco this week, the famous streets of Monte Carlo and stuff. And Verstappen's car is not built for this. Like, he didn't qualify well today. He's plus 200. It's like the first time in 3 years he's been an underdog. He's plus 200 right now coming into the race. And in his own words, he said, I was driving a kangaroo out there today. So, said the car was bouncing around so much. And they're not going to be able to fix it. There's a couple of tracks with the Red Bull. There's a couple of tracks on the Formula One circuit that the Red Bull car just quite simply is not made for. And they can't change it.
We salute the brave and courageous women and men serving in the United States military, protecting our freedom. Please take time this Memorial Day weekend to honor the memory and sacrifice of our military veterans and their loving families, and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in their service to our nation.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. And it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Well, a couple of minutes left in this basketball game, and it's a good one. This series has been a lot of fun, and the game has gone over the number. So 106 to 103 right now for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, the point spread is up in the air still right now. We're getting 6 points, an even six-pack with the Dallas Mavericks here. And Kyrie Irving takes it to the rack. I swear, man, Kyrie Irving is like one of the best players in the history of the NBA, man, to finish off when he takes it to the rack. His little kiss shots off the glass, unbelievable. Steve, I know you do a lot of coaching, youth coaching. I thought you'd like this video. We have a segment I call the Best of X. So it's like the best tweets of the day that I come across online. And this youth baseball coach was getting upset about his players looking at their phones too much. And he was upset that they weren't touching the inside of the bag enough when they rounded the base, right? It wasn't precise base running. So he figured, you know what? I know how to teach these kids a lesson. Roll it. Great stuff. He took their phones and he put it on the base. And he goes, "You guys will like that, Ken?" He goes, "Now you'll learn to run the bases properly."
That's the best, right? Can't go in the center, cleat right through the phone.
See, Steve, that's modern coaching. Get to the kids. Understand,
Dude,
like, you know what? Their phones. This is how I'll get to them.
That guy gets an A+ for ingenuity there. That was real smart. That was brilliant. I love that. That was awesome.
I predicted where you were going with that, Gabe. I had not seen that, but the minute you said that, I was like, I bet he's putting the phones on the, because that's what I would have done. So that guy's a damn good coach in my book. I like it. We're on the same wavelength.
Yes.
You know, in the modern era, though, like you got to adapt. And like I saw this with Nick Saban, and people were surprised. You know what it was? It was Cliff Kingsbury. When Cliff Kingsbury was coaching the Arizona Cardinals, he had a thing. We only practice for 20 minutes at a time. We take a break, whatever. And he basically said, so they had a thing. Every 30 minutes, players were allowed to look at their phones on the sideline. And people laughed and laughed and laughed. And they said, oh, Kingsbury's an idiot. And that's such a college, this is the NFL. And Rob Gronkowski said, Belichick does the same thing. And he said, and I heard Nick Saban does the same thing, Steve. And basically they said, why fight it? They said, you know what? These kids are all thinking about what their girl is saying to them, what's on Instagram, what's on TikTok. He goes, if I can get them to focus for 30 minutes and they know that they're going to see their phone after, I'll get their attention. And it's just smart, right? I mean, if it works, listen, if you want to look at your phone, and Belichick was like 2 minutes. He was like, look at your damn messages or whatever and get right back here. But he let them. Even Belichick did. So it's adaptation, Steve. It's coaching advice for you, for the kids. Next time you want to be like Bobby Knight and strangle somebody.
Yeah, I definitely had some Bobby Knight moments this year in basketball, and I'm working on it. I realize it did not work well with the 12-year-olds, so they don't take the things like I do. It would motivate me. It would motivate you, Gabe. I guarantee you're the type that would get motivated also if someone got mad at you. Gabe would get out there and get mad. I say get mad, don't get sad, but a lot of kids get sad. It's funny you said that, because the biggest thing I run into is the attention deficit. You know, it's that 15-second window. And that's been the biggest thing I've noticed over the last 5 years versus just 10 years ago when we were growing up, is that, man, and I've talked to teachers. A lot of the assistant coaches are teachers that I know, and they go, you think it's bad out here? Try to teach them in the classroom for an hour. And I was like, I get it. That's why I'm not doing that. But, it's a short attention span. But it's definitely
modern
difficult.
coaching. You got to, you narrow them in for a couple of minutes. You get their best. So 108, 106, 47 seconds left. So we hit the over. I should have got in on that 213.5 I was talking about, but I got over 223.5. How about overtime in both games tonight, guys? We already got overtime home in a hockey game. Let's get overtime in this basketball game now.
Could happen.
I think it could happen here. It's a 2-point game. There's 47 seconds left. I'm holding out hope, man. I'm staying positive that I'm going to hit this plus 223. So, Steve, the Dodgers lost again tonight. You know, a lot of people bet them, including myself, sort of think, you know what, all right, they were in a bad mood. They had a day off. They lost a couple in a row to the D-backs. It just fell apart on them tonight. What do you think about them tomorrow? What do you think about the baseball card tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, the Braves and Dodgers both lost as road favorites. Friday, road favorites. Game one's been the best moneymaker in baseball the last 6 years, and they both fell tonight. And they're both teams that have obviously underachieved, but I think they could be in bounce-back mode tomorrow.
All right, Steve, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, boys.
You have a good one,
Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com.
Happy Memorial Day. Here we go.
Happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.